Okay, we are live. This is Series 8 of the TA Escalation Pro 2021 tournament, and today is August 8th. Today we have Akiiki in the top left, the Green Arm Commander, versus Wotan, who is subbing in for Stag Jr., who dropped out of the tournament for reasons unknown, but either way, Wotan has generously stepped up to take his place in this tournament, and we're all very excited to see how he performs. I want to give a huge shout out to Wotan. He is the creator of TA Escalation and also a very, very nice guy. He has been working on this mod for 13 thankless years. Not an ounce of appreciation for anything he does. He is a modern day Sisyphus, pushing the boulder up the mountain and having it roll back on him without a single ounce of appreciation. He has slaved over a hot computer for 13 years for our selfish enjoyment. No, I'm just kidding. We all, I'm sure he knows how much we all appreciate this mod. I've said before, Total Annihilation is my childhood. I essentially grew up playing this game. This game is almost 25 years old now. You know, all of the original fans are getting very old. But either way, we're very grateful that people like Wotan are continuing to create mods to keep it alive. And we're all very thankful for the hard work of Wotan and everybody else that has contributed to the Total Annihilation community. So thank you very much. And we wish you luck in the tournament. As I said, in the top left, we have Akiiki, the Green Arm Commander, who has gone K-Bot first. And in the bottom right, Wotan, the Red Core Commander, who has started with vehicles. I say this every cast, but I like the gauntlet. I think this is there's a reason this map is popular. It's very hard to cheese your opponent on this map. It does lead to more of a test of actual skill because with this harrowing chasm in between the two bases, in between the two bays on the north and the south, it is not too difficult to wall this off, or at least to present quite a few obstacles to prevent your opponent from simply walking into your base and harassing you. And so it does tend to lead to longer macro-oriented games where players can really show their stuff, show their mastery of the game, of Total Annihilation. It leads to higher tech games. So far, this map has led to one of the only games where I have casted in this tournament where I've seen Tech 3 stuff, which was a lot of fun. I believe that was the Rampage versus Lord Vader game. We saw some pretty neat Tech 3 units, mostly in that game. It was the, let's see, I want to say the Mirage, but no, I don't think that's right. I'll see if I can think of what it was called. But in any case, this is a very cool map, very interesting, very unorthodox strategies being used in this particular game. And we will see how it plays out this time. It looks as though Kiki has started with just some peewees, and Wotan is content to build a lot of instigators, which are slowly moving up the map. And instigators do have the edge over peewees. It should be a case where the instigators quite easily handle these peewees. And as I've said before, that is why I favor going vehicles first on this map. Typically, vehicles do fare better in open spaces with a lot of room to maneuver around. They typically have more health and do more damage and are faster. And in this case, I think instigators are quite a bit stronger than peewees if microed correctly, to sort of stay out of their range and kite them with their powerful red lasers. But it does look like Well, it looked like they were going to miss each other, but Akiiki thinks better of it. He decides to move his peewees to the left a little bit here, and then he's still kind of deciding what he wants to do. It looks like he's going to go south with those, maybe try to get some harassment done. But in the north, Wotan is also going to attempt his harassment. And warriors are actually pretty good against instigators if they can catch them, and that's the problem. Instigators can just kind of go around them, avoid them, kite them, stay out of the way of their short-range EMG attacks, and that is exactly what Wotan has decided to do in this game. And so he's going to, we're going to see Wotan harassing his opponent, taking out metal extractors, possibly taking out this K-bot lab if he can, taking out these construction K-bots if he can, taking out these wind generators, potentially taking out solar collectors. But let's see, he's got one K-bot, he got two K-bots. He didn't get quite as much done as I thought, but he still did quite a bit of damage, and he still has instigators to boot, and they will surely take out this metal extractor. It looks like he may not have shoot all on. He's not automatically targeting this extractor, so that is a bit of a mistake. But either way, these instigators are going to get this metal extractor, and probably this one, and probably this one, and maybe this one. So, very good start for Wotan. Very effective raiding going on. It does look like Akiiki has brought his commander down here to the entrance of the so-called gauntlet. I don't know about that. I think maybe he should have kept him in his base here to kind of prevent that harassment, maybe get a little D-gun action in, maybe stop Wotan from just raiding his base with near impunity. But either way, he has decided to build a second vehicle plant at the northwest entrance of the gauntlet, and we will see how that goes. But just looking at the mega map, you can see that Wotan has established much more of a structural advantage. He's got most of the metal spots and his starting island, and that is due in part to the fact that Akiiki hasn't really been able to harass him at all because he's been on the back foot, because he's been on defense. That has kind of led to a situation where Akiiki has not really been able to bring his own forces to bear in Wotan's base. We've actually seen this pattern play out a few times already. As I've said, players that go vehicles first tend to, on this map, have an advantage because their units can simply get to the other end of the map much more quickly, and then the K-bot player just seems to be on the defense for the rest of the game. At least that is how it has played out most of the time, and Akiiki seems to agree because he has now gone vehicles and is building his own flashes, which are it's the equivalent, it's the ARM equivalent of the instigator. Arguably a little more powerful. If they can get into close range of the instigator, they will win. But the instigator is a little more accurate. Its laser has almost a perfect accuracy, where the flash's EMGs are a little inaccurate unless you get on top of your opponent's units, in which case they do very good damage. But the problem is this group of levelers is absolutely going to crush the flashes. Levelers are essentially designed for units like flashes, units like peewees, any kind of skirmish, K-bot or vehicle. These will absolutely annihilate. They will crush them, crunch them down. Whatever alliteration you like to use, levelers are incredibly strong against these fast reading units that have not that much health and are designed more for skirmishing and raiding. The riot tanks will easily kill those, and here we have a group of flashes moving down the left side. The riot tanks probably won't be able to keep up with or catch up with those, but we do have a few light laser towers on the left side here, and actually through the middle. In fact, Wotan's really gone ham, as it were, to make plenty of defenses. He has taken the map's name very to heart and has decided to make a literal gauntlet at the foot of his base, so that were any flashes to get past his very formidable army of levelers, they will then hit this several layers deep of light laser towers instead. But let's look at Wotan's base here. He has an advanced vehicle plant, so he is bringing out manticores. Manticores are called, I think, a hybrid battle tank. So they shoot missiles. They're kind of, they've been called, I think Postal called them upgraded Samsons or upgraded slashers. That might be a fair characterization. They do shoot missiles very similar to slashers, but they shoot them at a much higher rate of fire and probably do quite a bit more damage with each missile. And this is what makes them a hybrid battle tank, is that they are good at both land and air. And if you can keep the enemy at a distance, they will slowly melt them down. They will slowly poke them down, as you can already see. Let me slow it down here. They're particularly good against T1 units because they can just keep them at a range. They can kite them into oblivion. They can stay out of the T1 units' firing solution. Like, and the warriors in particular are very slow and they don't have that much of a range, and so these manticores are just going to have an absolute field day. And this is actually a very interesting composition he has here. Levelers, manticores to kite enemies at a distance, poke them down, and slowly melt down their health bars. And then levelers, if the enemy gets close, to kill off any stragglers, kill off anybody. This is kind of what you would expect from Wotan. He is the creator of the mod, so coming up with these very effective unit combinations is probably something that he understands. You know, the unit compositions of the game is something he probably has a very good grasp on. And so these are the first time we've seen manticores in this tournament and on this map. And but I think, as I said, it's a very good choice for this particular situation because they are very strong against T1. As I said, Postal refers to them as kind of upgraded slashers. And yeah, I think maybe that's a fair characterization of the unit. And they are going to most likely do quite a bit of damage to this front line base that he has here. There are some light laser towers, but manticores outrange those towers, I believe, and this vehicle plant is going to take a lot of pressure and most likely explode. Let's go ahead and look back at Wotan's base. He is now on advanced K-bots as well. He's building pyros, also very good against T1. Pyros are extremely strong in certain situations, and in this particular scenario, they are going to do absolute work against what Akiiki has. Akiiki, on the other hand, is struggling quite a bit. He hasn't been able to take all the metal spots back that Wotan was able to raid earlier, so that's a problem. And at this point, Wotan is just so far ahead. It's hard to see how Akiiki would even be able to come back into this game, but I suppose we shall see how it turns out. The K-bot lab is most likely, in fact, it's most definitely dead. And really, Akiiki has no more producing structures. He is working on an advanced K-bot lab, but I do have to make the assessment that it's likely too little too late at this point. advanced K-bots may have been able to do something a little earlier. As I said, Wotan's composition is specifically designed to destroy T1 armies. As I've said, the Manticore, the Pyro, the Leveler, these are all units that are specifically designed to kill T1 units in large numbers or to outrange them. So anyway, great game. Wotan did a great job. Akiiki did a good job hanging in there. But ultimately, like I said, I think going vehicle first on this map is gives you a huge advantage. And we have seen that play out time and time again. So having said that, let's move on to Game 2. This is Game 2 of Wotan versus Akiiki. We are on divergent boundaries. As I've said before, I really like this map. I think it's very clever, very well designed. I like that there's the option for naval warfare, whether in the form of ships or hovercraft or both. And I like this little land bridge, which makes it very difficult to get across to your opponent through normal means, and so leading to quite interesting strategies, as we saw in a couple series ago. Tag Rock deciding to walk his commander literally up here through the water. He walked him through the water all the way up to his opponent's island and then created a beach head, not a beach front. Okay. Yeah, whoever casted that series was not so intelligent, but yeah, it was a beach head, and he made a little beachhead here of 3 K-bot labs, and had quite a clever attempt to take over his opponent's island. He, as I said, he attempted to spread like a cancer, and it was very amusing to watch. Ultimately, his opponent Nem did come out on top, but I think were Rock's strategy to be adjusted just a little bit, he would have, I think, quite easily won that game. Very entertaining. If you haven't seen Nem versus Rock, I encourage you to go watch it. I believe it was Series 7. So let's get into this game. Wotan in the bottom right, the orange commander, who has gone K-bots first. And in the top left, we have Akiiki going hovercrafts first. I've said this before a few times. Going hovercrafts first, it's a little risky. The hovercraft platform itself is more expensive, I believe, than the other factories. And the units themselves, having a hybrid nature, which allows them to traverse both land and water, are also more expensive. They are, as I've said in previous casts, decent on water, decent on land, but arguably not great on either. And so the land-only K-bot units typically seem to come out on top. They typically seem to be a bit stronger, be a bit, given their very pigeonholed role as a land-only unit, are much better in those land-only engagements than the hovercraft, which are, as I said, decent at both, but not great at either. So let's see. Let's zoom out. It does look like Wotan is kind of ignoring everything else, and he's taking this little expedition of about 6 AKs with 2 in the background, 3 in the background, and he is making a beeline straight for Akiki's base, and he will likely get quite a bit of damage done here. He will take out this construction hovercraft. Okay, here comes the Akiki's commander. He's going to try to get something done. He is, Wotan is being very annoying indeed. He has kind of moved around the back of Akiki's base. He's taking out these collectors, being a bit of a pest, to say the very least. And he's taken out all of these solar collectors, taken out all of the metal extractors. He is now focusing down the hovercraft platform, and it doesn't even look as though Akiiki has the energy to degun, and so he will have to rely on this slow-firing commander laser to eventually take down these AKs. But either way, Wotan, very powerful start, very dominant beginning, and it looks like now the corpses of the AKs are blocking the hovercraft platform from even producing, and so no, I'm wrong about that. It was just a bug in the recording, so he is still able to produce. But either way, Wotan applying relentless pressure onto his opponent. He has now brought up another little army of AKs. They're going to take out these metal makers, probably take out this hovercraft platform as well. And at this point, I just don't even see how Akiiki gets back into this game. He did get a good D-gun off there, took out 3 or 4 AKs, another D-gun. He's going to kind of D-gun his little heart out here, trying to take them all out. Pretty effective D-guns there, I have to give that to Akiiki. Did about 4 D-guns there and did eventually take out that assortment of AKs. He's on about 3/4 health, so not in too much danger, and he has decided to go for aircraft. I don't know if I agree with this. Aircraft, T1 aircraft are not the greatest option in this particular position. He really needs something to be able to defend himself in this situation. Warriors would be a decent option. Something that is extremely effective against AKs, something that can act as a force multiplier against his opponent, take on several AKs at one time. Maybe Stumpies might be able to do the trick with their AoE damage. It's really hard to say what he could do. He's in a very tough spot. And Wotan, as you can see, is kind of slowly taking over the bottom of the map. Akiiki has brought one of his construction vehicles, very sneaky, bringing it to the bottom left where Wotan doesn't expect him to be taking metal spots. But as I said, aircraft plant not so good against the swarm of AKs, at least not a T1 aircraft plant. And now it does look as though Wotan has gone into hovercraft as well, building these salamanders, which, as I've said in previous casts, are incredibly effective at raiding, and Akiiki is just going to tap out. The game was over. But again, a very good series between these two. Dominant performance by Wotan. And yeah, he's going to advance on to the next round against Harold, and we're excited to see how those games go. So until the next one, guys, thanks for watching.